So I don't know if we have anyone, okay. Oh, Dwayne, if you want to pipe in at any time, because you're the writer of this and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, there's Charles. Okay, yeah, I think the process is fine too. I think, yeah, just making sure it's documented, right? So I don't know if we have anyone from the development focus group here, because the blueprint next talks about more Modu integration, and I don't know anything about that.
Modu is the packages, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, communication and documentation needs improvement, I agree.
It's right, Silverfox is already busy with it.
What's that? I'm sorry.
With all from the Ubuntu form and that sort of stuff, she is already busy with.
Okay, it's not in the channel.
It's not told in the channel. I heard in here.
Oh, okay.
So.
Right, Charles, so you're saying working with like the teams like the packaging team and all that to get mentors from them?
So that was going to be my question. Like, if there's already an approved mentor on another team, do you now have to jump through the hoops of the beginner team to become a...
So if you see like the one right above that, the bug focus group and their mentoring program, so we're gonna, I don't know, I think we're gonna try to integrate more with them because becoming a beginner's mentor and being a bug squad mentor is kind of silly. Oh, what did I see in the channel?
Encourage more Ubuntu community participation by our focus groups. So basically, you know, if someone in a channel, whatever it may be, says, "How can I help?" that would be like the first step is to point them in the direction of this thing.
Yeah. So Charles is saying that we have a mentoring structure, but we just need mentors. So what we need to do is do like outreach to find mentors.
How do we motivate mentors? That's a good point. I think that's a big point right there. A lot of people who have the knowledge are either busy using it, busy with tasks, or whatever.
It's not very clear to me what a mentor really have to do because
Teach.
Yeah, but from Wiki and Launchpad, then I'm not available because I have problems with that.
So not
With other stuff, then I can help.
Right, not everything requires Launchpad, so yeah, you can work on stuff that you can work on.
Yeah, it's mostly for people who can dedicate a certain amount of time to a student. And they're able to teach in whatever focus group they decide. They're very knowledgeable. So if I know a lot about development, I can help people who want to become developers. If I know a lot about bugs, I can help people who want to learn about how to create efficient bugs or triage bugs or things like that.
I'm more someone who knows many people on the places that they can complement.
And sometimes that's why a chat room is good, because you could speak to many people at once. But if you're looking to get more of a close relationship, then you could be assigned one person to one person.
So does Modu have a mentoring program right now? I don't think they do.
I haven't gone through it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I know they have individual people who volunteer to say, I will mentor you, but I have not checked out, like, to see if they have official documentation on that.
Yeah, because what Charles is saying here is that the Ubuntu Beginners team has a mentoring framework, so we can just grab them. They don't have to build mentoring stuff. They can just come to us, and then people can go to them, I guess.
So you asked about how to motivate mentors. Now, this has been over a year and a half ago when I asked about, hey, how can I help with the beginner team? And then got sent to this whole process where somebody said, oh, now you're going to have to sit before another board so we can make sure that you're okay to mentor. I'm like, who has time to to do that, and I'm already like doing all this other stuff. So so is that a process
Who
anymore?
told you this?
I don't know. It was like,
Also told to me, by the way.
yeah, that you have to go through a process, a formal process, and sit before a beginner team board to become like a mentor.
Yeah, we should,
I think that's
well, you have to become a, yeah, I
you
guess.
want to be recognized, right? But for someone to actually say that you're good enough just makes you feel like you're not good enough. You know what I mean? If you want to help, you can help. You know, there's no restrictions. It's not like you get a medal because you're a mentor. And that's why I'm saying the whole politics behind it is ridiculous.
Right.
The beginners team should be open. It should be a whole bunch of people talking. And if you like the mentor that you're with, continue with him. If you don't like him, or if he's giving you attitude, or if they're making you jump through hoops, whatever type of structure.
So let me just pause here for a second. So Charles and Dwayne, I guess we're trying to say if someone's already in Modu, then you think maybe they are qualified. They don't need to go through the whole becoming a beginners team member to be a mentor on our team.
I think just their attitude. Training possibly because you know a subject doesn't mean you know how to pass on
Right. So I guess.
subject to somebody else because just because you're I don't know, it's like they say about there are teachers and those that don't know. But you need to know how to be a teacher before.
Which is why it should be up to the.
You need to know when to say, okay, that was.
You do need a good pedagogical mind to be able to teach others. I agree with that. But it is, in the end, up to the protege to decide whether his mentor is capable or not. If they don't have a good relationship, if he thinks they can't communicate properly, if there's a language barrier, then by all means, go back to the channel, say if anyone else is available to mentor. But the key problem here right now is that we don't have enough mentors.
Yeah,
And I don't want to get off point, but how do we motivate more mentors to come on board?
I think the thing is, for me, I've been on Launchpad, in forums, I've heard dribs and drabs and some pieces, this kind of thing, etc. But there hasn't been anything that's kind of like, it's always when you, for me, it's always been the kind of, how do you do it? Where's the kind of A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 steps, etc. to help out in that way?
And did you simply ask in the channel?
It's always step one is IRC. Everybody's used to IRC, and so there has to be more than just IRC for the. As far as I'm concerned, the best thing would be something that's in Ubuntu when you install it. When you open it for the first time, to say if you need help, etc., etc. And as soon as you're into that funnel somewhere, then you can be kind of gradually. If the person says, "Oh, crikey, this guy's really good at blah blah blah," then you can be pointed in the right direction.
So there's actually a link on where to get help from the Ubuntu website. So you download the CD, you see where to get help, and it points you to the wiki, the different teams, and things like that. So that's one way. What it says here is become more visible. Okay, it's going to allow more people to know about the team, but once again, it's not going to guarantee that we have more mentors. Now, when we're talking about getting more mentors, we need, it'll be nice to add, some kind of executable program to your computer that puts you in constant communication with the team. But I mean, that's exactly what IRC does, and whether you access it through the web chat.
Because I know, for instance, the first time I figured out how to do university was because screencasts, and there's a screencast about
May I say something?
well, you can get there's a merge channel with the screencasts. You can get exactly they are in just streams The thing was that it would be fairly easy, I presume, I'm not sure, difficult, but to actually add it to empathy in the first place. So when it's installed, it's already there. The beginner's team.
Yeah, so I
if
think
we need to ask a
that's-
question, it's already.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be whack.
No, I mean, I think that's beyond the scope of what we can realistically do at this
Yeah.
point, because our mentoring structure isn't even really, I mean.
You have to show some kind of interest to get we can't just assume that everyone, it's just assuming that everyone who uses Ubuntu might be interested in art development.
No, I mean, as far as getting people to know where they can get help.
Right.
Because the point is, I think I've only once ever been on the IC channel for the beginners team, which was to ask a question about whether to re-sign the code of conduct because I'd lost the key, encryption key, and I found out.
I say you're on the right track of trying to find a way to link Ubuntu to the beginners team, but default thing in empathy is probably not the right way. But let's keep on coming up with ideas like that. And before you wanted to say something?
Yes, and the last month there are several people who were qualified for Motu. They all they asked what they could do, but there was no really good response on it. It was not clear what they could do, so they used go to Ubuntu Motus by Guilherme. So they were Motus, but they just because that was not clear what they could do.
Okay,
there was
so
no
In that case, if they're on IRC and they say, I'm Motu, what can I do to help the beginners team? We have to point them towards the development focus group.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You need people to discuss with other people. It's a very...
I asked them then to others, yes, and also I was not get a clear answer. I was new then, yes, so I also was not knowing what to point to.
Right.
So I asked
Usually, if you need
other.
to do that, you would point them to the wiki of the beginners team, which breaks it up into the different focus groups.
Yes, that I know.
And you're always going to have little situations where people can't understand how to do something, which is why IRC is there. It's a very social way of finding resolutions to problems. But you're always going to have little situations like this where someone is not available to talk to you at that time or something like that.
I've seen.
So if you ever hear of someone who says, I want to help, you point them to the wiki and you explain the different the different focus groups. If someone has trouble, you take it upon yourself to help them. It's not perfect, but it's a start. It's a beginning. Yeah?
If I can't help them because I have not of the knowledge, I always ask someone else to help
You can
them.
do that, but it's better to point them to the actual wiki page.
And at the same time, maybe ask someone, be like,
Exactly.
here's the wiki page, but let me go
But
ask.
the wiki page has the list of the
Yeah.
mentors, so for that focus group, they could say, I can talk to these people. And they go to IRC, they see, oh, this person is online.
But till not long ago, I was not able to read it.
Yeah.
Because
But,
now there are going to be changes. I'm blind on one eye.
Yeah.
My other eye is also not good at this
Yeah.
section. I need big fonts. That was a problem. I only can use the ESC.
yes.
Yes, I've told many times, and that was the reason I every time asked someone else to do it.
I completely understand.
So I think, well, let's get back to some of the things I said in channel here. So Amber's saying, and a lot of people actually say that it's too hard to become a mentor. So I'm wondering if there is a way, because I know we have the standard process. Yeah, so at UDSN they were asked to improve the qualifications, and now we're saying, now the qualifications are too hard, no one wants to do it.
It's not a certification.
Yeah, so I
Being
think,
part of the beginners team is all about doing your best, trying to help someone out. This is not like Linux Professional Institute where you have to go through a number of tests to get a
But that's the
certification.
feeling that it comes across.
Right, so I
Yes.
I don't know who made these policies, but I don't particularly agree with them, which is what I started off with when we started this.
So I think what we need to do is maybe, so we have the general process for anyone who wants to get started, but maybe we should have like a separate wiki page saying like if you're already a Ubuntu member and already a Motu, whatever, already, you know, in the documentation team, maybe there's like a fast track option that you can do just to become a mentor in the team. Because I know we want to keep, the team does want to keep, you know, quality up and everything, but at the same time, it's keeping mentors away.
I understand holding the standards high, but lowering the barrier to entry.
Right.
So that's that tricky point.
But it's hard because our process right now to give new members is like you show them your wiki page, you say you've been active and whatnot. And it's not actually a lot. It's not actually a huge process. I think it just seems that way.
But you know, we're all humans. Ubuntu is made for humans. Humans are error prone. Nobody is perfect.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're right. The barrier for entry has to be a little bit lower, and we have to appreciate.
The perception of that perception has to, even if it's not a hard process, the perception that it's hard is there. So we have to change the perception because the perception is the reality.
Any users that make that perception true, we have to talk to. Any users who make other users uncomfortable is not doing the job of being part of the beginner's team.
And you had asked how you get more mentors, right?
Yeah, and that's the key point that I want
So I was going
to.
to say, why don't we start out, like, I can work on it tonight, we'll get something up on the fridge tomorrow about here's the beginner team, here's all the different areas, and just start creating buzz around it, because I think there's some buzz that's missing. Then we can go from there and break it down even further and talk about use cases and talk about interviewing different mentors that are already there and say, this is what we need, you know, give my timeshare speech, but for the beginner team. And break it down like that so that we can create some buzz and not just create buzz on the fridge, but create buzz at a national level or international level as well. And when we can do that, I just need somebody to sit down with me for about an hour this afternoon and we can knock it out and start creating that buzz as early as tonight.
So the problem right now is
I agree that buzz is part of the of a way of attracting mentors, but I don't think it's motivation enough.
Well, no, but you can't motivate somebody who doesn't know that it's needed. If they don't know about it, you can't motivate them to become. So first of all, you have to tell people about it. Then you have to bring in the mentors. Then you have to write them their motivational paychecks without them bouncing.
You just got hit the nail right on the head right there. You have to bring them in.
Yes.
Why don't we, you know how headhunters look for people who are well experienced in something to
We
join the
have team
company?
headhunter mentors.
There you go. So, no, not mentors, but just headhunters. So we approach people instead of having them come to us.
And I guess that's what I'm saying. Is that's how we're going to approach them is one way, is getting that word.
The buzz is part of it.
Is part of it.
But we also have to know our community better. Who are experts in what field? What can they do? Can they create documentation? Are they available at certain times? This is a standard email we should send out to people that we know are experts in certain things.
Right.
and then it won't seem like they have to jump through hoops because we approach them and we already know that they're good for whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds like what we do is we cited for the Ubuntu user days and Open Week where we hunt out people who are good at something and we tell them, okay, can you take a session?
Yeah. So the people also, that's a great recruitment opportunity. If you find that someone is willing to be part of Ubuntu days, developer days, or whatever is in Ubuntu Classroom, and they're willing to do a class in there, they might be willing to be a mentor as well. So this recruitment is a second good idea.
And so I think the steps to recruitment, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one, letting people know about the team, two, then breaking down it separately by all the areas of the team, then saying, and in each of those articles, end it with, we are hunting mentors. We are on a hunting expedition. However you want to word that, we're hunting rabbits or whatever. But and do that, and then make sure that there's a way for them to get back in touch with a point of contact. And sometimes that may be a single point of contact, because if you have too many points of contact,
You might get different messages.
it confuses people, like who do I go to? And so you start with a narrow point and broaden out.
Who is leading right now the beginners team?
There's a council.
There's a council of how many people?
5? Yeah.
5? Do we have the names?
Charles is one of them.
Silver Fox.
Darkwing Duck is one of them. Silver Fox. She's
Did we want to elect one person to be the relationship manager for trying to find?
So it's tricky because each focus group has a lead. So like there's a documentation team lead and there's a mode team.
I know, but I just meant one person whose task is, okay, so let's say George Castro, he's relationship manager for upstreams. This would kind of be relationship manager for trying to find new mentors. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it would be the single point of contact.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone on IRC is volunteering for it or is able to do that.
We can volunteer. I'm not on the team, so I'll do it all the time.
So who is the most active in the beginners team, would you say?
I mean, the council members are pretty active.
Dwayne
But
is very active.
Darkwing Duck is volunteering to oversee it all. He's going to do everything.
He's like,
Dwayne's video that we're going to do I see in the first place.
We have someone?
Yeah.
Perfect.
all right, any article I write, I'm putting you as a contact.
Yeah, the fact that you're in the doc team doesn't really stop you from, anyone can come to you and say, this person is good at this, and then we're gonna put together a standard email template that explains the beginners team and why we think that them contributing their time would help us. Any other kind of motivations that we could give them? I know we can't really give Launchpad karma or anything like that, but anything that we could give them that would, steer them more towards the beginner team would be helpful.
But another thing,
Could someone add a couple of things to the blueprint? I have to leave in a couple of minutes, but if someone could start adding stuff to the whiteboard or just so we have some action items, and one of them will be making Darkwing Duck this point of contact for the recruitment.
So Buzz on Planet and Facebook, we need to work on that. Recruitment.
no, Fridge, Ubuntu user, Linux Pro, that's the buzz I'm talking about creating.
Sorry, Fridge and Planet. Is that okay?
That'll work. We'll go from there.
And we need to provide Darkwing Duck with a standard email template for trying to recruit users. We should also create let's see. We should also put it on the wiki that if you know of anyone or would like to suggest anyone to be a mentor,
Yeah, figure out that
contact
word.
Darkwing.
Yeah,
And
figure out that politically correct wording. The other thing that we might want to look at, because it is the beginner team and the Fridge is community run, putting a link on the Fridge to there. We can do that very easily. And no, I bug in my computer right now. I gotta go find the kernel manager and get him to fix it.
some people just got that.
So no, I'm not on RC right this moment. So, but we can do that. We can create that buzz very easily and make sure, just put a getting started link or, getting started with contribution link to there or some kind of snappy wording that's eye-catchy. We can just put it on the Fridge and go from there. So, yeah, borked is the right word.
I would, Darkwing, I would put your personal address. I would maybe
Create a Google one or something. Or
or get somebody to create some kind of generic.
Get an RT ticket. Just ask RT to create a mentor.beginner@ubuntu.com.
And we CC the list.
Yeah, and they'll create it.
Anybody next year?
Huh? No, they'll create it. They'll do it. They're good about that. They don't really.
Most resistant arguments.
No, so we can create all that buzz about it and get it out there. And then we can also, at some point after we create the buzz, we can then tell success stories. We need to hunt down some success stories.
That's a great idea.
And put that out there too. Hey, I'm the buzz master here. So we'll
Check the marketing.
So yeah, I did that for years. So we'll get that out as well. But I just need somebody to sit down with me after we end this afternoon and work up a plan with me, and then we'll go from there.
but what is also needed is that it's clear you not have to be perfect. Because I had the idea, if you want to be a mentor, you need to be very perfect and know everything.
If perfection was a requirement, or
Yeah, I wouldn't even use it.
But that idea I get when there was told me from you need to do this and this.
Who told you this?
I don't remember anymore. I have
Okay,
a problem with memory.
if you find the logs or anything like that, and
I
or
can read the logs.
if you ever see that, if you ever hear that it happens again or anything like that, we'll definitely talk to that member because we don't want people to feel uncomfortable with it.
That's why I also was in doubt to be a mentor. I was put on the list and I thought I'm not good enough.
Yeah,
right.
that's definitely not the feeling we want to have.
Well, Darkwing Duck, I will be emailing you because I want your story. Just let you know.
All right. So, anything else?
I can't think of anything else. Can you?
I took everything down for the points. I don't know if I added it to the notes. But,
Since you read the notes, can you add it to the blueprint since you're on the Launchpad, or since you're on beginner?
my battery is dead.
Yeah.
But find me later.
Yeah.
We'll dedicate half an hour to this and I'm back. Cool. Thanks a lot, everyone.
So if the perfect part is away, I want to be volunteer for mentor.
For which focus group?
I am a leader from speech control, so I could take him in the team and learning a guide.
Are you able to write documentation for speech control?
I've helped with that till I got the solution with the read-write program.
Okay, so perhaps is there there's no accessibility focus group, I don't think. But there's a
But there's an
documentation.
accessibility team that might be able to help.
I am with the
Yeah,
Yeah.
that may be able to help with creating that part of this.
Yeah.
So the beginner team and accessibility team need to marry up and come up with something.
Okay.
I think.
I don't see any need for duplication.
Yeah.
But you could join the documentation team and write documentation about speech voice
I
control.
can make audio files and send it. I already...
That is great. That is still part of documentation.
And I think looking at and based on what you said about not being perfect, perfection sometimes halts progress. And so, like they were saying in the channel, as long as progress is made, then, the enemy of perfection is the enemy of good enough. And so we just make sure it has to be good enough and not paralyze the process, because perfection will paralyze the process. So that's what I think needs to happen now. Instead of focusing on all the hoops that you have to jump through to be perfect, to be a mentor, to have that willing spirit, because anybody can be taught. If you have the excitement and you're motivated to do it, you can be taught how to do that.
You want to think of the team as an extended family more than, and family is not perfect.
I think maybe I should try this team.
You might have an uncle or an aunt who has something not completely right with them, or they do something you might not like, but you love them because they're part of your family.
In the beginning I
It's
tried
this point of acceptance.
James also.
Yeah.
And Jackie Alkine, but I then it was still Padawan. I was a Padawan, but I was guiding 2 persons already.
Yeah.
With giving advice, I had to go to. I'm better in PM than in chat. I got lost in so many lines.
That's great. That's great. You could decide to be a generalist and not focus on anything, and just be part of the beginners team. Give feedback to anyone, or give answers to anyone if you can, and that's just as well as joining a focus group. It just depends on the person, how far they want to go, and what their capabilities are. There should be absolutely no discrimination.
I see often what skills some have before they know it themselves. I said to him, you would be in the future a very good team leader. He is now.
Yeah, that's right.
What team are you leading?
I'm the team leader of TouchLay. We are building touch tables, but that's not the right place here.
Touch tables?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Also with Jackie.
I'm sorry?
Also with Jackie, I've done in beginning in PM because then I not know he had not have a mentor. So after a while I was often in PN with him, asked him who was his mentor, and discovered he had not a mentor.
Some people can learn on their own just with documentation, and some people prefer the hand-holding, prefer the someone to refer to if they ever have any problems. And that's what the beginners team mentor is for.
And I saw by the leader also leadership skills and from development programming.
Yes.
He is now my head dev from Speak to Flow. And from Wintermute.
Yes, that's fine.
So
That's great. That's fantastic. And as long as we keep improving.